there's a strong tendency for people to use words like I think, I believe, in my opinion, in order to qualify what they're saying and distance themselves from it, which is to say they don't want what they're saying to be shot down, and so they say, that's just what I think. Obviously, it's something that they think. It's an unnecessary thing put in there as a safety. A stronger way of saying the same thing, which will make it come more true in reality, is by stating it as it is. But people don't want to do that because they're very attuned to the fear of other people's opinions. And that's one of the great ways to make yourself unable to actually convince somebody of something when you have a mentality of backing down for what you stand for. And what you stand for could change over time. You may think something today that you may think differently tomorrow, and then say today what it is, then say tomorrow that you've changed your mind. But don't say I think before each thing. When you're able to carry the strength within yourself to operate with confidence, that changes the strength that you feel, which makes your being less vulnerable to attacks by others, less vulnerable to caring too much about other people's opinions, and you find yourself happy. And no matter what else other people are doing, it doesn't affect you quite so much. This is important to know for dealing in business for sure, but dealing with relationships and people in general as well. There's so much conflict that comes because people are excessively focused on what other people think. And what it really is what you think about what other people think. You actually will never know what their thoughts are. You just know what they express and then how you perceive it. So anytime somebody is so focused on the outside, they open themselves up to being continually insecure, because at any moment somebody can validate them, they can see or think about something external to them that makes them feel bad, and they lose the strength that comes from within, which is deeply rooted within yourself. That is the only thing that can make you truly strong and effective at what you do, and of course make you a better version of what you are in order to best serve whatever you're doing, which makes you better for the outside. The paradox is when you focus excessively on the outside, you lose the strengths from the inside to actually make the outside better. So when you may think you're doing something good because you care so much about what's going on around you, it can be the number one thing that actually depresses you and makes you unable to properly serve your function on the outside. And the ultimate balance here is when what's within you and what's outside of you are merged together and they both hold the same quality. The immediate tendency, especially the way the human mind functions, which is focused on avoiding threats and seeking pleasures, is to focus on the outside. And that's good for the function that it serves, but it must be merged with the internal strength that is sourced from within yourself. The path forward for a lot of people at this point is to go inside and see what it is that they're feeling. To know that when you look at somebody else, what you see is not that person, you see your thoughts about that person. And the same thing applies to any situation. And this is one of the benefits of seeing many different perspectives, is that it shows that there's not necessarily one objective way of viewing something. There are certain overarching universal principles that do apply across the board no matter what situation you may be looking at. But the fact that there are so many different perspectives on literally the exact same thing, you can look at a water bottle, like in Wolf of Wall Street. He tells the guy, sell me this bottle. And the guy is not able to speak up to the qualities of the bottle. And he takes the bottle away and gives it to another guy. Sell me this bottle. Or was it sell me this pen? It was something like that. I got sell me a bottle in a job interview once. I had 10 seconds to think and I had to do it. Anyway, if you look at a pen or a bottle, there's 1,000 ways to look at it. And it's based on what's within you. What are you thinking and feeling at that time? And the best way to know that is to make yourself as strong on the inside as you can possibly be. Then what you think about the bottle will be a reflection of yourself, something that is stable and strong and ready to go and do what it needs to do without being so worried or scared about all the many things that can go wrong in the outside. When you're too focused on what goes wrong on the outside, you shelter yourself and create a bubble of people who confirm what you believe and who further strengthen whatever it is that you currently think. And that could be good on one hand, but it can also lead you to lose sight of the whole. And I think that everybody's ultimate purpose when it comes to human knowledge is to understand the totality of things, not just their singular perspective. Although, of course, you look at things from your singular perspective, there are more perspectives that are there outside of your own self. So, when you understand where other people are coming from, it decreases the anger that you have when people do things that you think is completely wrong. So if you look at opposite views of any decision, whether it's political or in business or in a relationship, two people want completely different things, and the other one will think the other one is wrong. And that's fine. You can believe that they're wrong, but at least understand where they're coming from with it. What's important is not believing the other person's wrong. What's important is being able to understand where they're coming from, even if you still choose to disagree. The reason people refuse to even go to that level of even considering that the other person may have a point is because there's a fear inside that the other person might be right, and that if the other person's right, it might change their mind. You don't need to worry about that. You can still hold your opinion, but at least look to why the other person thinks the way they do. And it's important to not distort it and look at their worst qualities and say, well, that person is X, Y, Z negative thing, and that's why they think what they think. Although that might be part of it, there's normally a good element of truth within the person that leads them to think and believe as they do. The overall point is when you're strong on the inside, it gives you the power to engage in the world in a way that is powerful and happiness inducing, rather than being worried and scared about what other people think or the many, many things that can go wrong on the outside. It makes your internal happiness better, and it makes your ability to function within the world better, and it makes you more effective at what you do. And who doesn't want all those things? When you start on that path, the gains continue to increase upon themselves. When you feel that power within yourself, you're going to say, this feels good. I want more of this. And you keep working towards it. And the better you're able to serve your functions on the outside, the more people are going to come to you saying, hey, I need help with this. What do you think? And then you can engage in something that helps solve a problem or that helps serve whatever end. And it just continues from there. And that's how we become better as a society, when every person looks inside themselves and sees what the best of what they can offer is, coming from the inside, not coming from the outside.